Hello, welcome back.
Hey, happy Thursday.
Oh, yeah, that's a
Thursday
good one.
edition of the Friday
I think it's
vlog.
ironic. This is the first time in a while that we're doing the vlog before Mary scoops us and scoops us in all the news, all the
That's
big
true.
news that we have.
That's right.
But the most important thing is, and the AV system looks great. Thank you, Joel and Daniel, and certainly you, Brandon, and Supernova and everybody else. So
Yep.
we're tuning in. I know you guys are working on the tune-up.
Yep.
But really, most importantly, my mother is so grateful to be able to move into your house, and she just wants to know whether Saturday is better for her to move in or Sunday. So we can talk
Surprising
about it
news.
later, but
Yeah, talk about surprising
thank you
news.
so much.
Yeah,
Thank
it was
you.
great to meet your mom. I died.
It was great to
Good
meet
to
her
meet
too.
you.
It was wonderful. So thank you, Brandon. Good city council meeting this week. I know that we're having some follow-up meetings. I think you're going to talk about some of those. The big news from my perspective is twofold. Number one, Chief Tomasi has announced his retirement to me. And so his last day with the village again will be on August 4th. So
His second retirement.
second retirement. This is more permanent. I think this is less like a sabbatical and more like a permanent retirement.
Yeah.
So thank you, Chief, for your mentorship and leadership over the years. Always a smiling face, sometimes in the face of adversity because of the nature of your business. And I'm grateful to call you a colleague and a friend. And I know you are as well.
I mean, it's hard to say too many nice things about the guy. I'm going to miss him. That's
too.
all I'll say. Yep.
Me too. I was apparently too effusive last time you retired, and I got some grief from people. So anyway, I'll see you around. And with that, I am going to install Commander Trayer on the 5th of August as our acting police chief while we work. I think it's Director of Public Safety, which is the actual
Yep.
title, on the 5th of August. So, and the commander's been amazing with, again, our team, with the community, with the public, just a very approachable police chief. Also hardened. I mean, he does real police work, but he's also a very approachable human being, a good person. So thank you, Commander, for taking on that role, agreeing to take on that role. And the last thing I have is, what a surprise, the governor signed the final portions of the budget for the year we're in. It's a $321 billion a budget. They can do things that we cannot, Brandon, unfortunately. There's some budget shenanigans, for lack of a better word, $5 billion in borrowing, almost $2 billion in funding shifts. So we'll see how that works out. And that, of course, comes, that addresses from the legislative standpoint, the governors may revise. And how does it impact our region? One of the tools that our village has had for many years, like it or not, indifferent, is this California Environmental Protection Act, Quality Act, CEQA, Mr. CEQA or Miss CEQA, and it has really helped protect our character. It's made our design review process a little bit more rigorous, again, without judgment, for better or for worse.
Even historic resources. Historic resources are technically part of the environment under CEQA, so they're protected under CEQA as well.
Birds, bunnies, buildings, air quality. So the legislature has made some changes to CEQA, and some of those could impact us from the perspective of a lessening, a reduction in CEQA review for things like infill housing, which is everything we do, broadband infrastructure, which is potentially impacting us, wildfire prevention projects, and it does prohibit changes to the building code with some exceptions for fire safety for new residential building standards. I had coffee this morning and I'm all jacked up. So anyway, this is something that we're looking at, and we'll keep, obviously, our boards and commissions and the community involved in this as we understand more about the changes. And so, I'm sure that the Pinecone will pick this up and get into it in detail as well. So before I shake myself to death, that's what I have. What do you got, buddy?
That's great. Well, we're going to be closed tomorrow, celebrating Independence Day. I actually wore my red, white, and blue today.
I got two of the colors.
So there's, as always, the fabulous events up at Devendorf. Starts at 1 o'clock. Monterey Pops will be there from 2 o'clock till 3:30. I think Monterey Pops does an early sort of like warm-up practice
Yeah,
session, which you can always catch earlier in the day, sort of like the early free concert version of the other free concert. It's pretty cool. So go check that out. All of our, crucial services will still be available: police, fire, public works. We have extra staff here for public works. We'll be putting out extra trash collection, portable toilets, and so we're ready. But
Yeah.
be ready too, though, please, out there in the community, because we're going to see a lot of people. There's no way around it. We see it every year. So just be patient, be kind. If there is a real incident, though, don't hesitate to call the police. If it's an emergency, 911. If it's a non-emergency, just call the police station directly.
Right, even something like an overflowing trash can, you call the non-emergency number at the PD. And again, we've got staff members from our colleagues from Public Works here tomorrow, Saturday and Sunday, all day.
Yep. So we're ready. Excited to see the weekend. One of the things that happened this week at City Council it was a busy week, lots of great items, but one to highlight is the Public Works and Police Building. The ad hoc group, which is actually the mayor and Councilmember Barron, supported by staff, you, me, the chief, Commander Trayer, Public Works Director Ken Wasaki, and Mary Pilsey. We spent a lot of hours going through square footage, literally line by line. How big does a closet need to be? Yeah. And every single space we trimmed down. And so we've sort of redone the recipe of what those two buildings need in them. The city council was supportive of that action. They were actually very happy with where it's at right now. And so the next step for us is to create an RFP, request for proposals, to find another architect to work with us, because none of us have the ability to really price that or cost what that's going to do, because the cost is going to drive the next step. What do we do? How do we approach the funding?
Right.
What type of project is it going to be? Is it going to be a scrape and rebuild, or is it going to be just a remodel? So the next step is to get a professional back on board with us to cost it. So we're going to spend the next month working on that with the group, building what that RFP is going to be asking someone to do for us, and then we'll come back in August to council to get the green light to release that RFP.
That's the goal. I mean, that's certainly the goal.
Yeah.
And again, the homework assignment for our last architect was different than the current assignment.
That's
than
right.
With the current council.
It's more narrowly focused this time.
Yeah, and so again, we've scrubbed the numbers, but we need to have some professional expertise to make sure that we're getting hallway widths correct and those kinds of things before we start to assign numbers to it, before we look at, again, our financing options.
Yep. Last thing to mention, you touched on this early at the top. I just want
My
to.
mother moving in with you, I heard, yeah.
I'm excited already. Dorothy is going to be excited to live with another Dorothy. It's going to be great. But I just want to touch on, the AV upgrades to the chambers. If you came to the meetings, you saw the new equipment. It was, in my opinion, a very successful rollout. This was a top to bottom redo of an entire technological, an AV system. We had very few bugs, which are always to be expected. Kudos to Joel and Dan and the Conti team, and our public works team was involved in this. Yeah. The library, Nova was involved. So it was a real team effort. We still have some bugs to work out. We actually spent an hour yesterday in this room going through our list. We have a really good punch list items to go through over the next month to really refine the systems in here. But I'm really pleased with how it went. We've got a bunch of new capabilities. So come and check it out. Again, we're soliciting feedback. We got some great feedback from folks that watched online that we're going to incorporate. But it's mostly a big thank you to everybody, including council, for ponying up the money and seeing the value in enhancing how this chambers, which is really the heartbeat and the interface of how we work with our community, both here in this room and online, to make this space work for what we want to do here with our community.
That was prophetic. That was really well said. And you're a musician, so you understand that the shakeout, if you will, of tech is what happens. Very natural.
Yeah.
So
you have to, like, every microphone here has to be individually tuned to make sure that the sound works, and that's what we're going to be working on over the next month.
Great.
Yeah, to refine even the picture. We can change the equipment we bought allows us to change the heat and the temperature and the colorization of all these cameras. So we need to dial all that in over the next month.
Wow, right on.
Yeah. It's exciting stuff. So,
Well
Yep.
said, you.
so that's pretty much it. I hope you and your family have a lovely and safe 4th of July
Likewise, I'll
weekend.
see you, yeah, we'll see you tomorrow, maybe both here and then at some other celebration.
Possibly. There's a lot going on around the peninsula. So
We're not gonna visit other cities, though.
no, I would never do such a thing.